Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion. Host and welcome back to the Baseball Head. Hopefully you like this video. Tonight was more like it, folks. It was more like it. The Mets won 3-1. I would mention before we get started, we have a new member on the channel. His name is Leon Hilgerod. Welcome, Leon. And hopefully you like very offbeat content that members have here. Very laid back kind of thing I do there. But when you become a member or you send me a super thanks, you get the bell. And when this video is over, I'll put the acknowledgement in the community post. But going into today's game, people were complaining. Boy, oh boy, I gotta say. A lot of people on social media, not that it matters, people just act like jerks on social media. Not me, of course. I'm like this all the time, believe it or not. But people complain about Soto's last at bat last night. Well, he showed up tonight, boy. Did that ball ever come down? I don't think that ball came down. Now, your host was not able to watch it on Apple Plus. I don't want to watch Apple Plus. Although everybody's going to be going to the streaming services. I was found on the phone. Listen to one of the apps I have of the game. The interesting thing about this game was the Mets got very good pitching, and it's the big reason why they won this game. And they got timely hitting early on. Tyler Megill pitched well. He always pitches well in April. He had a good night tonight. Pitched 5 innings. Gave up 3 hits, a walk, 1 run, 1 earned, and struck out 6. Got the win tonight. He always pitches well in April. It's amazing. He may not be here in May and June. He might get hurt or he might pitch poorly, but he does pitch well early in the season. Every time. I mean, in 2022, he won 5 games in April. So this guy, he knows how to win in April. We're not even in April yet. Pitched really well tonight. Had all his good pitches going. He looked good. And the Met bullpen was excellent tonight. Reed Garrett came in the 6th inning. The best part about this game, that put the Mets in good stead and good, in a good way with the pitching, is they got Tyler Megill into the 6th inning. I said last night the biggest problem with Clay Holmes yesterday was he could not finish the 5th inning. The Mets had to get their starters through 5 innings. That's been the problem the last 2 years, and especially last year in the beginning, first 2 months was a big problem. They weren't able to get their starters into the 5th inning, finish the 5th inning, but they did that tonight. Garrett pitched really well. I mean, he walked the batter, but he struck out 2, and he got a long fly ball to finish that 6th inning. And then A.J. Minter came in. He pitched 1 inning. Gave up a walk. Ryan Stanek was pretty good, although he gave up a walk. I would mention about Edwin Diaz. When Edwin is working fast, you know he's feeling it. And he came in that 9th inning, he shut them down pretty quick. We know that with Edwin, when he's pitching at the top of his game, the opponent has no chance because he gets that ball up there, it's on the mound and throws it. No wasting time. Now, if he's struggling, back and forth, he can't, you can feel it. Now, the offense. Scored 3 runs again tonight. And, of course, the 2nd inning was key. They mentioned it on the radio how Brandon Nimmo and Mark Vance, I didn't realize this, they left 9 men on base last night. I couldn't believe that. Didn't realize it was that bad. But Brandon, he got a hit and then he stole 2nd, and he got caught, and then it was a screw up on an error. But he scored the 1st run on an RBI double from Mark Vientos. It's good to see him get off the schneid early on. And then Jesse Winger came in, he got a single. The Mets were really good tonight. I mean, to be honest with you. And then later on, the sort of the crushing blow that Juan Soto hit off of Hunter Brown. In the 3rd inning, that ball never came back down. So right now, to go through Juan Soto, I think he's 2 for 6 so far. I did not think, and I'll say this again, I thought he had a good game last night. I mean, people got a little too worked up about that last at bat. I think he actually had a good at bat, but he just swung a bad pitch in the end. He had a pitch, the previous pitch where he fouled the bat, but that ball that he crushed to go out of the ballpark again, I don't think it's coming down. But what's interesting is later on in the game, obviously didn't score any more runs after the 3rd inning, but later on in the game, Soto and Alonso Both got on with walks. I believe that was in the 7th inning, the 8th inning. And Brandon Nimmo grounded to a double play, and then Mark Vientos made it out. Or maybe that was earlier. It was earlier, inning prior to that. But these guys have to drive in runs, okay? And they can't be doing this kind of, especially with Brandon, he can't be like the leadoff hitter anymore that he was. His mentality, which I know changed a lot last season, from being a leadoff hitter to being more of a middle of an order guy, that mentality has to change, early on. This is just an early on observation. He has to be able to move those runs, or even drive the ball. I mean, one good thing about the 8th inning last night was that he was aggressive, which he always is with men on base. But obviously, the end result is the most important thing. And same thing with Vientos. Those guys are going to have so many runners on base for them. Those guys have a shot to drive in 100 runs. I said this before the season, that Brandon Nimmo, if he stays healthy, has a shot to drive in 100 runs for the Mets. And would anybody have thought that when he was coming to the minor leagues, when he got to the major leagues, that he would be a guy that has a chance to drive in 100 runs? Last year, he drove in 90 runs, and he didn't do much the last month and a half. And he still drove in 90 runs. So Brandon has a shot to really do big things. He has to be more aggressive, even more so when he has men on base, because obviously the pitcher is always at a disadvantage when there's runners on base. So, and Vientos, it just needs to continue what he's doing, but we want to see more. But obviously, it's very early on for me to sort of assess it. It's sort of an overall thing, but this lineup has a chance to score a lot of runs. The bullpen was excellent tonight. It was excellent tonight. I was very happy with the Mets. They got 9 strikeouts in the game, and then, like I said, Edwin Diaz shut the 9th inning down pretty good on the Astros. The two big at bats in the 6th inning was when Garrett had men on base. He got Isaac Paredes the strikeout, and then he got Christian Walker the strikeout too. And then he gave up a long fly ball to end the inning. But those two bats were probably the key at bats in the game, because it looked like things were starting to spin out of control. But that's why it's very important to get your starter into the 6th inning, or at least finish 5 innings, so you can go to that bullpen, because then at least your bullpen has a shot that has a fresh arm to go in there and get the job done. So there's really not a lot to complain about. Although I would mention they had 4 walks in this game. Got to get the walks down. Got to get those walks down. You cannot continue to give up bases on balls. You're going to have no shot to win, and that's what it comes down to. And obviously last night with Holmes, he gave up 4 walks too. So the Mets have to find a way to cut that down. That was a major problem last year and really the last 2 years, so that has to change. But beyond that, Mets got their first win of the season. They look pretty good tonight. Not that I saw them, but they sounded good on the radio. And a couple other things. Acuna had a big play late in the game. Good defensive play. Brett Baty went 0 for 2. Concerning again in his first at bat. Popped the ball up to left field. It's concerning to your host, because it shows to me that his bat is slow. When a batter can't hit a ball that's too fast for him, he will hit that ball to the opposite field and pop up. I've seen that too many times in all these foul baseball, especially when older players get older, that they struggle to pull the ball. And then when they struggle to pull the ball, they'll have those lazy pop-ups to the opposite field. So if you're a right-handed hitter, you pop that up. Right-handed hitter, you'll hit that ball to right field. If you're a left-handed hitter, you'll hit that ball to left field. I saw that with Howard Johnson. I saw that with Gary Carter. When the power was starting to go, they couldn't catch up with that fastball, and they would have these lazy pop-ups where they were so far behind on the ball. So that is concerning with Beatty, because he's 25. But I didn't see the at-bat, but I'm just doing it based off of my my observations listening to the radio tonight. So that's just a note that I wanted to mention as we move forward. And I would again mention Acuna had a great at-bat last night in the 9th inning against a very difficult reliever. So thank you for watching this video. Again, if you become a member of the channel, you get the bell, you get an acknowledgement from me, and a thank you, and an acknowledgement in the community post. And I'm sending super thanks as well. You get the bell, and you get an acknowledgement there in the community post as well. So I want to thank you for coming by. Please subscribe to the Baseball Hut, and I'll see you later.